Hey guys, I'm an Australian living in Belarus. I'm back in my beautiful, glorious hometown of Melbourne, Australia. And I want to give you a bit of an insider view on our culture. And I'm going to show you one specific thing today. I'm heading into the city centre now. And I want to show you this very unique cultural event that's happening. And I want to tell you a bit about our culture in general, because what I find in most countries, in particular Belarus, is when people find out you're from Australia, you get a fairly predictable set of questions. The questions are there really snakes and spiders? Is there too many? Is it too dangerous? That's about it. Oh, are there kangaroos? This is it. All right, people really don't know much about our culture at all. So I want to share a couple of things with you guys. It's going to be a long format video, so if you're up for a bit of a chill, maybe even want to put me in the background somewhere, it's a good time to do it. But I've got a destination. A handful of my mates are at this place already, and it might be half an hour walk, I don't know. I'll walk down this direction. What I'll do is, I'm sure you're enjoying looking at my beautiful head, but I will turn the camera around and you can see what's up in Melbourne town. So this is the day before grand final day. Yeah, I'll leave that as that for now, and I'll describe to you, well, first of all, where we are. So we're in the city centre, or just north of the city centre. That's a Victoria Market there, akin to Kamarovka Rynok. And that's kind of, that street there is kind of the border of the city centre. So we're walking to the city centre and we'll walk to a very famous sporting ground. Because Australia, we're kind of doing our own thing down here. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're in the American empire. Yeah, we're controlled by the US. Yeah, they determine our politics and future direction. That's all true. But same with most of the world to varying degrees, right? But we still have a very strong sense of ourselves, of our own culture, and you don't meet too many Australians who hate Australia, right? Like, it's a pretty good country. We're not kind of imploding certainly at the same rate as our bosses, the US, and we certainly haven't got the same misery rate as the UK, as our two most immediate influences, and I guess countries most similar to us. And you typically, if you meet an Australian floating around the world, they'll like our culture. We like our culture. We like our country. We like how it all works, right? We see it's a pretty fair place. All in all, yeah, things are changing rapidly and aggressively. Yes, that's true. But the core is still pretty good, man, on average. And that's what I'll talk about a bit today. But what I really want to talk about today is sport. And what I was shocked to find in Belarus is that no one gives a shit about sport. People just don't care. The football, the ice hockey. Sabalenka has won the last 2 Australian Opens, I believe. Australian Open tennis, women's tennis. And the average Belarusian doesn't even know who she is. They just don't give a shit. It's just a different culture. Whereas in Australia, we like to say that sport is like a religion. Yeah, this is the city centre here, obviously. Most of these little huts here, you'll see, apartment blocks, these are pretty much all built for international students, mainly Chinese, with a bit of a mixture there. All built for international students to attend the universities and then maybe work a little bit afterwards as well. Again, that's the market there. You can see the livestock there, the cow, the sheep, the horse. No, not a horse, sorry. A couple of cows there. Back here. We don't eat horses in Australia. Well, not that we know of. I did eat horse in Japan though, many, many years ago. Nice, rich pink colour when not cooked. What was I saying? Yeah, so in Belarus, I was shocked to find that people don't really know much about sport. And they don't really care. Whereas Australia, we're kind of obsessed, and so much so we made up our own game. So in the south half of Australia, the most popular sport is not European football, it's not basketball, it's Australian rules football. And this is by far the most popular sport in the southern half of Australia, and it's trying to spread to the rest of Australia, competing against rugby, which is more popular in the north, but it's not as popular. Like, rugby in the north is not as popular as Australian rules football is in the south, right? So it's pretty crazy. So the football ground that I'm walking to now, so it's on the other side of the city centre, the football ground I'm walking to now has a capacity of over 100,000 people, right? And I tell you what, they could fill that, tomorrow when the grand final's on, they could fill that 5 times, honestly. If they were just giving away tickets at a reasonable price, they could fill it 5 times. 500,000 people, no problems. No problems. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a whole lot of Australian idioms today and insights. This will be great for foreigners to Australia. So we always say no worries, right? So if everything's cool, it's like, oh yeah, no worries. It's like, oh, thanks for helping us out, mate. Ah, no worries. Right? As we say, no worries, right? And then it kind of evolves from there and becomes some clicky slang, right? So no worries went to, no fucking worries, mate. And then we just swap the letters around, the first letters, and we say, no wuckin' furries. So I wouldn't recommend you say this to a random Australian. It depends who it is. But yeah, we have a lot of idioms. We're definitely up there with the Russian language in terms of how creative we've become. It's how much slang we have. Crazy amount of slang. But anyway, as I was saying, sport is like a religion, and a lot of our residential areas are often zoned around sports grounds, obviously shopping centres as well, but sports grounds too. And you might have a football ground, maybe some tennis courts, some netball courts, hockey, maybe European football as well, all in the same kind of area, and it becomes like a real social hub and it's a real community feel. And indeed, one of my best mates I met playing tennis. I played in a competition league here for about 12 years, and we played together, and we were hanging out the other night. He's a really good guy, and a guy I met from playing tennis there, and that's kind of can be the heart and soul of a community often. The sporting grounds, how we meet each other, how you meet the neighbours, this is kind of how it is. So we say sport's like a religion, so I was shocked that Belarus is so far down the other end. Yeah, there is that nice Dynamo stadium, Dynamo Stadium, and yeah, you can go there if you want, but not many people do, right? I didn't know anyone that was even remotely interested in either football or ice hockey. No one I knew cared. I don't remember anyone talking about it at all, showing any level of interest. Seeing maybe some, someone wearing one of the outfits for the local team, or a hat that says, whatever, Minsk. I don't know what the teams are. Dynamo Minsk, I would guess it would be. My friend's just calling me there. I'm just gonna not answer it because I keep talking to you guys. We'll just wait here. You can kind of cross on the red if you want. I've been fined here before crossing on the red, so I'm a bit trigger shy on that one. So we'll just chill, and I'll cross when it goes green. Most people don't give a shit, as you can see. Doesn't really matter as long as it's like there's no cars coming. They're not just gonna walk, obviously. There you go. They've got some of those colours on there, some of the football colours. Because today is where I'm actually going is a grand final parade. It's a public holiday for tomorrow. Could you imagine? Public holiday. So those team colours that we're wearing are not even a team that is in the match tomorrow. But I'll point them out as I see them, because as I say, there's a big parade on, and it's just a reason to get together and maybe have a few beers. A few lazy daytime beers. The daytime drinking never goes astray. It's actually a public holiday in my state. It's not a public holiday for the whole country, because as I say, football's more Australian. When I say football, I mean Australian football, real football, not that weird thing where you kick a ball on the ground like a fucking 18th century peasant. Just having a shot at everyone around the world. Don't mind me. Then when I say football, I mean footy, Australian football. So, where was I? Ranting about something. Oh yeah, so it's a public holiday in my state. In my state only, which is Victoria, where Melbourne is. Because it's kind of this whole AFL, Australian Football League, is really Victorian Football League. They just expanded it, trying to get more interest in it from other states. Although, as I say, Western Australia, South Australia are naturally bent that way. And then they're trying to market it to Sydney and Brisbane. And ironically, they're the two teams in the final. Sydney and Brisbane. So you got Sydney, who is formerly South Melbourne, and they moved them there and renamed them. And then Brisbane, who was a merger between a failing Brisbane Bears team, which was like a franchise team back in, I think, late 80s, early 90s. They merged with a failing Melbourne team called Fitzroy Lions. They merged them together and made them the Brisbane Lions. So they're the two teams playing tomorrow, not even a Melbourne side playing. But as I say, we can still fill that stadium 5 times, baby. 5 times. Controversy here. Someone spilled something on the ground there. Everyone's pretty keen to avoid it. Being quite careful. So this bloke's got this is a Queensland beer. It's a beer from the north, which is one of the teams tomorrow comes from the north. I'm not sure if it's a rugby or a football top. Right, so where were we? yeah, so it's much like a religion. And look, for me, I never got that into it. I actually grew up right near the suburban ground of one of the Melbourne teams. And that was, I'd go off there every now and then with my grandpa, would take me to watch the football there. But, I never got that into it. There we go. Here's two examples, the two boys here. Got one team's kit on. Again, that team's not in the game today, but they're out just, supporting the occasion. It's like, because this is actually a new public holiday. Like when I was growing up, this public holiday didn't exist. It's just a thing they invented to, I don't know, have a nice Friday. I guess so many Victorians will take the Friday off anyway and pretend they're sick. So they thought, well, fuck, just give everyone the day off. I made that up, but it could be true. There's a half truth to it, right? Alright, let's I might try and get in the sun actually. I'm a bit chilly. Let's go over this way. Oh, some glorious sun coming up. Look at that. It's a brisk 15 degrees here in Melbourne. I've got a t-shirt on. It's kind of borderline, t-shirt, not t-shirt. There we go. Beautiful sunshine. Thank you. Yes, please. So I'm walking right down the guts. So when we say the guts, we mean the middle, the centre of. I'm walking right down the guts of the city centre today, down towards the MCG. Now, Australians are quite famous for abbreviating things, words, and kind of making them our own. So I'm going to walk down Swanston Street, which is super well known, super famous. It's kind of like, I don't know, the centre of the trams. I guess it's like a no car traffic street. Only trams. There's maybe, I don't know how many, I'm not sure how many trams run in Australia. In Melbourne, maybe 15 different trams. Probably 12 of them run down this particular street. So you'll see it. They're very iconic to Melbourne. A few generations of them still floating around. So this will be this. You can see one going there. Probably just hear it. That young boy there, again, he had one of the team Guernseys on. So you see everyone's getting into it. The young kids got the Guernseys on. As I say, in Belarus, people aren't so interested in this kind of stuff. You wouldn't see that too much. Unless they're going to the game that day, you might see a few people on the metro going to Dinamo for a game. Even when there was that national match between Belarus and Russia earlier this year. I'm filming this right at the end of September 2024, by the way, so I'll probably release it in a month or so's time. But earlier this year, Belarus and Russia played. I think Russia won somewhat easily, but most people didn't even know or care. It's a pretty, a sharp contrast with Australian culture. Everyone would be all over it, trying to get tickets, trying to suss it out. We like an occasion, we like an event, and we like sport. So you put sport and an event together, and we are all over it. We even have a horse racing best side here. Let's go on the other side. This is the National Library. This is right in the city centre. This is right in the guts of it. So that's the National Library. There. Okay, State Library of Victoria, sorry. Victorian Library, not National. That's a university there. Lots of again, somewhat student, somewhat young professional accommodation. We'll go over this side where the library is. Get a nice bit of sun, I reckon. Nice and sunny, feels good. What was I talking about? See if I can spot a few more people with the Guernseys on. Not so many just at the minute. But we're going to head down to kind of the hot spot of it. So we like to abbreviate things, and the most standard thing that we do is take the first syllable. So in this case, this street here is called Swanston Street, and then we chuck a Y at the end. Yeah, chuck a Y at the end. So we call it Swanee. Walk down Swanee. Just as an example. That's not super common to call it that, but that would be a common example of what we do, right? In this case, and the more popular it is, the more iterations of evolution there are. So for example, we're walking towards what's called the Melbourne Cricket Ground. right? The Melbourne Cricket Ground. Well, it's called. We use it for football as well, and that's where the grand final will be played tomorrow. You really got to see this, because by the time you watch this video, they would have played already. If you just type in 2024 AFL Grand Final, just watch the first 5 minutes and feel the energy of the crowd. It's just something else. It's really over the top. Just the power of it's really freaking awesome. And everyone will be, at home having barbecues, going to friends' house. I'll be at my mate's place, having a barbie with some other buddies and whatever. And that's how it's done. Even if you don't watch the football, you have a beer, eat some meat, speak some shit, and that's kind of how it works, right? But yeah, it's definitely a thing. I wouldn't imagine, much like Christmas, you wouldn't spend Christmas alone, you wouldn't spend the grand final alone either, is the reality of it. And even if you don't even like football, it's still a social occasion. It's a dyed-in-the-wool social occasion. So it's called the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So of course we abbreviate that to the basic acronym MCG. And then because we're extra lazy or extra efficient, as you wish, we even abbreviate that to the G. You go into the G. It's not G Gangster, G Ground, obviously, Melbourne Cricket Ground, MCG, the G. And that's kind of how we do it. In essence, we just make everything simple to say. Not like Russian, where just saying hello is fucking hard. Здравствуйте. Like, who would make that as the most common word? Really, Privyet. Okay, I'm down with Privyet. That's easy to say hi, but to say hello in a formal way, it's just so difficult. We've got to make this stuff easier. Honestly, especially common words. Commonly used words. We've got to make this shit easier, not harder. So that's the way we do it. Here, everything's kind of abbreviated. And as I say, that golden rule, especially like growing up, that's what you would do. If you had a friend or someone in your school, we would take the first syllable of their first name or first syllable of their second name, chuck a Y on it at the end, and that would be what we call. So for me, Ben, it could be Benny. Benny would be acceptable, you know what I mean? But typically last name as well. That's what you hear. If you go past the suburban ground, there's a football match being played, you'll just hear that. You'll hear, Benny, Davo, Shawnee. That's what you'll hear, just people yelling at each other for the ball, or to get out of the way, or to do something on the football ground. You'll hear that being yelled out. It's kind of cool. All right, we're getting into the heart of it now. We're kind of at Chinatown here. Here's a guy with a Brisbane top. So see these. Here's a guy here and a girl. So see there. That's the Brisbane side, Brisbane Lions. You can see the Lion logo on the top there. Somehow you also have American basketball thing still there. And this is Chinatown. Well, there's kind of two Chinatowns now. There's the one from 100 years ago, or even earlier, the Gold Rush in the 19th century. Probably brought a lot of Chinese here as well. So there's this Chinatown, which I'll just show you, do a quick peek as we kind of walk past. Look at that. Kitaisky Gorod. You'd have, geez, I don't even know. See, that's what you get a lot of as well. These kind of drugged up, homeless. There you go, that's a nice little show for us. Just common, unfortunately, in the city centre. This is where it's at the moment in Melbourne. So yeah, Chinatown must have, I don't know, 50 Chinese restaurants, maybe a bit more, maybe 70, because they kind of sprinkle off that main street there. Alright, so we'll keep our eyes out for a few more Guernseys. There's still a few floating around, and there you go, this guy's got something. I know he's got a bloody English Premier League scarf on. What's he doing? What a clown, mate. What a clown. Very un-Australia, as we'd say. We're getting pretty close now. This is like the main, well, it used to be the main shopping strip. I actually used to work in a shop when I was an undergraduate student. I used to work in a large retail store down there. Back in the day, yeah, this lady's got the Lions thing on there. So this is like a kind of a walking, again, this is a no car kind of street here. No cars, just trams, and of course this whole street here, you'll see the trams lined up to cross over there, because as I say, it's probably a tram every minute because they're all different lines, all jammed in together there. You'll see a lot of the common international brands, Vodafone, obviously. Alright, I'm just going to actually hang up on you guys. So I'm just going to check my mate because he's called a couple of times. I'll just give him a call back, see where he's at, and then I'll keep walking that way. Alright guys, sorry for that interruption. Now, my mates are at a coffee shop, and I'm going to walk this way, and I'll just keep going with you guys, talking a little bit about Australian culture, as I say. We'll just turn you around. Get the zoom going, back to a 1.1, and I'll just pretty much walk to my mate's coffee shop. This is pretty much the plan of attack from here. Get through, so you'll notice, the occasional Guernsey. I'm surprised how many Guernseys people are wearing of teams that aren't in the final. And here's someone with the original Fitzroy Guernsey, I think. And this Rebel. Oh, mate. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, maybe it is, though. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, they got the mum and son there. The mum's wearing the original Fitzroy top, which wouldn't have been manufactured for probably 20 years. Maybe 30 years, actually. They merged maybe around year 2000, just a rough guess. Just from memory. And a lot more. So you can see here, it's dispersed up here. You can see a lot more. These two young girls both got the lions, things on. This is green, but he's not actually looking, so he can't see it's green, so we'll just cross. There you go, there's some Sydney. They're obviously down from Sydney at the yellow and, the white and red. These boys here as well got their Sydney Swans. These guys are very Australian. The Guernseys on, they're not Guernseys, got their scarves on. This guy's just got some random, what's this, mate? Lift your game. He's just some random white one. Can't, mate. Be serious. We're getting pretty close now. We're only about one block from the other end of the city centre, and it breaks down to a river and then breaks down to the MCG. It's a beautiful walk down. Also, the tennis centre's just there as well on the opposite side, the National Tennis Centre. Where Melbourne Park, where the Australian Open tennis is, of course, where Sabalenka, I believe, has won the last two Australian Opens in the women's side of the draw. Fashion Week coming up. That might be roughly now when I release this video. So they've been building this for 5 years, 6 years. Kind of typical Australian. Things will get done eventually, but yeah. It's obviously a significant project. They're digging up the ground, they're laying another station, and there's a handful of stations actually underneath, but yeah, nothing's in a hurry over here when it comes to government infrastructure and whatever. So yeah, things don't get built in a hurry at all. So you'll hear that beautiful sound, that doom 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 of the trams rolling on the tracks there. Again, this has been like this for 5 years. It's no China, that's for sure, where shit gets built overnight. So to make sure everyone's comfortable building it. There you go, a few more Swans tops there. It's got the scarf there. These boys got the scarves as well.
Have a look at the building on the outside.
Here I'm sledging something. McDonald's, you'll forget what that is. It's not Mac BY here. No Mac BY, it's actual McDonald's, folks. Bit of Krispy Kreme. We're almost at the goal. Well, part of the goal. As I say, look, I've got you here. I mean, I might as well just take you for a stroll. But if you're watching now, you're obviously pretty keen on seeing the views, so I might as well just take you. I'll take you down to the water there, and then I'll walk up to where my mates are waiting. And this is the go. So yeah, the parade's already just finished, maybe half an hour ago. So now you're just getting people kind of coming in, and people will go for a bit of a shop, coffee, beer, whatever it is. Bit of a reason to socialise. A couple of mates have come from kind of semi-rural places today. Just come in for the day, fuck it. That's kind of how it is. Maybe a bit of a day of it. Again, it's just a reason to get together. Like, I personally don't care that much. I don't follow it since I've been outside of Australia. I haven't really followed it much. I didn't follow it much inside of Australia, to be fair. But it is, I do respect it as a part of our culture, and yeah, way to get people together and way to bond a bit. So especially the final, it's a good social occasion. Good fun. We even have, so we have from the British, we took the horse racing stuff, and mate, that got huge. Like, horse racing, it's kind of dying off a bit now. There's a lot more competition for our time and our money and our attention. Let's take it to the edge here. We'll go over and I'll just show you. You can actually see the ground from here. It's still a bit of a trip. I won't go there, but I'll just show you. I'll do a bit of a zoom. I'll zoom for you guys. Gone red already. That's not good. I'm not even, everyone's still walking, so I'm just going to go with the crowd. Fuck it, safety in numbers. Alright, it's a little bit squeezed up here, as I say. This kind of construction or whatever been going on for fucking longer than I've been alive. So this is quite iconic. This was built in the early 90s on this site. Federation Square it's called. When it was built, it was quite controversial, mate. Oh, everyone wanted to sledge it because it looks shit, but everyone's kind of got used to it. That's it here. What we call Federation Square. It's a bit of an open area. We can just, whatever, different contests or different, maybe food festivals or whatever. Bit of space there. They even have a bit of a thing there. You can't quite see it here, but they have like a TV we can put on the football. Probably tomorrow you have people come here to watch it. So it's got a Fitzroy one on. We've got an Essendon one, this lady. Some Sydney ones there. Alright, we're almost down to the river now. It's a bit hectic, isn't it? There's got a Brisbane one on this fella. Hear that Kamala Harris style cackle in the background there. There you go, got some of the young fellas got their Sydney attire on. So you can see this is all the crowd that would have been down there watching the grand final parade. You can see them all walking down. And that, if you can see, let me zoom in there. In the distance, you can see there the lights of the stadium there. As you can imagine, it's a pretty fucking big stadium. And here's, all the followers been obviously at the grand final parade. These ladies on fire here. There's a hubby there, having a good time. So I'll just walk. Actually, I might walk into them. It's a bit out of the way. Might go this way. It might be better. Going to Wellington Street, continuation of Flinders Street. Because I'm aware, whenever I'm talking, I'm aware. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. It's a bit of if you see these trees here, we used to call them itchy bombs as a kid. They got these little, I don't know what you call them, seeds or something that come off them. These ones here, and then they disperse, and it ends up as a dust in the air. See these things here? It's almost like a mini durian. Those things right there. When they break open, there's just this kind of dusty thing going on, and just started sneezing like crazy just then. All right, so let's. I'll walk through Fed Square here, show you it. And there's a tennis centre there. You see those white? That's where this Shane Open tennis is. Pretty cool. Fun fact. Let's come back up this way. Oh man, it's warming up. It's nice. It was a great debate this morning as I left the house. Should I go with the jacket or not? And I've made the right decision. I pulled the right rein, as we'd say. These guys having an outdoor beer. few of the guys, you can see from all the colours, they've just been to the grand final parade and having a nice beer in the sun. Everyone's in a pretty good mood, huh? Oh, it's good. This bloke's broken his foot trying to get here, so he walked all the way from Sydney to get here. He broke his foot on the way. Yelling some expletives in the background. I don't know what I was saying. I said a couple of words that you shouldn't probably say. I think YouTube won't pick it up. I noticed I can get away with swearing quite a bit on YouTube. It's actually quite handy for a gutter mouth like me. I can get down that way. It used to be open that way. I think I can. Hey, it's still open. Let's go this way. So these are kind of iconic tourist areas around here. Yeah, we locals wouldn't come here too much, but it's, as I say, definitely iconic touristy spots. A lot of these people will be from, well, both overseas but also interstate. You can just tell from the genetics. I can see they're not from Victoria. A lot of the white Aussies here. And you just got a mixture of, everything. It's a city centre. It's quite touristy because Melbourne, like, we don't get that many tourists here. Yeah, these guys have got rugby tops on. Check that out. Go the Storm. We've got the rugby finals happening at the same time, so they deliberately don't put the finals on the same weekend. So tomorrow we've got the Australian rules final, which is again more popular in the south, and then next week they'll play the National Rugby League final. Again, not to clash too much. And they'll play the preliminary finals tonight and tomorrow. So I'll take you for a walk. So if you're following on a map, I'm headed roughly east along Flinders Street. So you're going to have a lot of really iconic buildings here, a lot of older ones that are still standing after 150 odd years. This is obviously a very famous church here. We've got a couple of really famous theatres up here as well. I've been to a lot of acts here. This is the Forum Theatre. Been to a lot of music acts over the years. They're really iconic. I mean, it might be shut down, not shut down, but yeah, refurb, developed, changed in some way now, I don't know. I'm living in the past, you know what I'm saying? Living in the past, mate. There you go. This is a good representation of what the average Aussie looks like. The average Aussie. This bloke here, real typical. True blue. Unfortunately, with that Sydney attire. So we'll cross over here. So I think this is still Flinders Street, then it turns into a different street. It changes name a bit further down. Actually, I'm probably better off getting the tram, but I'm also conscious I've got no money on my card. I'm gonna have to bloody go back to the station and put money on it. Actually, there's one just right there. I can get on there and do it. Perfect. So we might even get on the tram. But I just got to be a bit careful what I say on the tram, because people can be a bit funny sometimes. Generally people are fine. They'll have a laugh and wave and say something, speak a bit of shit, whatever. But just got to be a bit careful if I'm giving you some cutting edge commentary that might not be very PC. Yeah, I can see it's got a little machine there. I can chuck a tenner on and ride the tram down that way. Duke of Wellington. I've had a few Friday evenings there back in my corporate life, back in the good old days. Alright, Green Man, let's cross it. So yeah, you can see a bit of view here. See the ground there, you can see all the lights. Just a bit of a zoom in. That's where the ground is itself, and it's multiple levels. I don't know the exact capacity, but it's definitely six figures. It's definitely over 100,000. Without doubt. Then you're back in. We go all the way back in. Alright guys, that's enough from me. Got to get on with the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a squiz around, bit of a chit chat about stuff. Feel free to leave any question, comments, APU, and we'll see you next time.